Homestead, I'm Brian.
I'm Caleb.
And today we are going to build chicken tractors for our 50 Cornish cross meat birds. We've got everything we need over here. We're going to try and do at least a how-to, but how we're doing it. I've done a bunch of research, looked at different ways to do it. Was thinking about doing PVC. About plans and how we built the chicken coop, and unfortunately I keep most of the plans in my head here, so I've got to get better at least documenting how we're doing it with what we're doing it with and what it costs. But if we're successful and I got everything right, we'll get 2 chicken tractors out of the equipment that we have or what we got at our local Home Depot. We should be able to get it done for about $320. So let's see, we'll get rolling with it right now. So what we're gonna do is we are going to put this together with 4 panels. So we're gonna build each one of those panels first, then we'll put our chicken wire on it, and then we'll put it all together for a 4-sided coop that's gonna be on some PVC sleds. But the absolute first thing we gotta do is make sure that all of our lumber, before we start building these panels, is at 8-foot dimensions so that we can be plumb and square all the way around. Down to 96 inches. We have got our 45s. We're going to mark and cut all of our 45s. 30 more of those cuts and we'll start putting this together. What we're going to do for this is we are going to use a wood dowel, and we're going to use them as pins where all of our joints are in between our boards, so that we can add some extra strength. And then we're going to we'll wood glue them in. I'm not sure which wood glue is best. We've got Gorilla here, and then we've got Tight Bond as well. So I have a lot of experience with this one. I don't have very much experience with the Gorilla Glue, so we're actually going to try this out. We're going to just use these boards as templates as opposed to doing the speed square on each and every one of them and doing the measurements. So especially the pressure treated all need to be cut down. Well, once we get this one template rolling, things will move a lot faster. We'll just put it in place and then mark it and cut it. Skids the pressure treated, and now we're going to, how many more cuts? I don't know, 26 or something, not quite, but 24. So we'll cut the rest of the boards right now and start piecing this together.
Now we got our top and bottom plates down. Now we'll do the sides.
We're in the middle of doing our sides, but one of the tricks that we use once we get a template going is we just take that template and then run it down so we don't waste very much board here, and also mark both sides of your board so you don't have to keep changing your chop saw back and forth, changing that angle. So we mark both sides and then we'll just rotate the board and get our cuts going. Our sides or ends or whatever you want to call them, it's time to do our center supports. We're going to do some 17-inch center supports on these frames. 4. Marking our midpoint on our top board. Now that we have our top panel measured, we're going to do our bottom panel. We're going to make sure that we line everything up with this before we drill. Inch center board, we've got to drill those out and put those in place. Right, so we'll do the base. Base in place. Okay, we had to hit it before, so we still have to. Now that we got those centers done, we'll show you how we're getting these ends done. Ready? Perfect. Okay, so once we get the panel all done, or close to done anyway, one of the last things we're going to do is toenail in or toe screw in these center pieces. We've got our side panels all done. There's one last thing we need to do. Watering system actually installed on our chicken tractor. So we're going to do those cuts right now, and we'll show you how we're installing this. Ports in for our water system. We're going to get our chicken wire on these paneled sides before we put the whole thing together, and then put the sleds or skids, I guess you call them. So before we put the skids. Staples, the vast majority of them are these Arrow T50s, the half-inchers. Those go all the way around, but then on our corners, each one of our corners, to make sure it stays in place, we've got these 9/16 staples that you hammer in, use them on electrical work or normally, but we're putting them to good use here, like that on our corners. Okay, there you have it. All our panels have chicken wire on it. We're now ready to assemble the panels. Of the chicken tractor are up, and what we're going to do next, because this is going to be the back, that's going to be the front, we're going to have a lot of strain put on the frame pulling it front and back. So what we're going to do is put 2 pins here to help support, and we're going to start tapping those in right now. Perfect. In. We've got that extra support that we need so that we can move the tractor back and forth. We're going to put 2 access doors on top of the chicken tractor. So what we're going to do is we're going to frame those in right now. Once we get that framed in, we're going to flip the whole thing over, put the skids on the bottom, and then flip it back over, and we'll put the rest of our chicken wire on. It'll pull together. All right, perfect.
Oh, now it's 2.
Chicken tractor flipped over so that we can put the sleds or skids on, and we're going to use this piece of drainage 4-inch PVC pipe that's 10 feet long. We're going to cut it in half, and that will make 2 skids for us. Our PVC pipe cut in half here. It was a little more difficult than I thought to maintain a straight line, but they're close enough. Here's our sleds are attached, so we're going to flip it back up and finish our top framing. Fit?
Easier than it would have been.
Oh my God, yes. So we've got the top framed out. We're working on the doors right now, or the access panels that are going to be on hinges. We're going to have 2 of those. We're framing those out right now. We mocked up the water system to take a look at what it's going to be like when we install it. We are going to have to get a new fitting before we can put down the chicken wire, but we're pretty darn close to being finished here. Caleb did the math, and what did you say, how many gallons?
5.2.
5.2, so it'll hold 5.2 gallons, and that adds about a extra 44 pounds of water weight when it's full. So the idea will be move it and then fill it with water. Caleb is framing up and getting ready to do all those cuts for our access panels or doors. I'm going to do the door stops, and I'm going to do a little trick. Use these 45s that we had already cut when we were framing out our side panels. I'm going to drill some holes in these and get these ready to go in, and they'll serve as the door stops. So when we lower that door, it'll land on these, and we'll place them in the corners so it holds the frame up. So I'm going to drill those out and install them. Our cuts are made. We are ready to start putting together and installing our hatches or our doors. Now that we have it all framed out and ready to go, we are going to measure for our hinges. Just hold it super tight. All right, let's test it. Okay, now that we've got the chicken tractor framed out, we've got the water system mocked up, it's time to actually install the chicken's drinking system. We had to wait. It took quite a bit for this to get here. This is a 1/2-inch PVC pipe T that reduces down to a 1/8 inch screw so that we can put these drinking cups in, and this is actually what the chickens will be drinking out of. So this is what our drop down is going to look like. We're using 4-inch drainage pipe, which doesn't necessarily match up directly with the 4-inch PVC pipe that's used in other plumbing applications. So make sure you check your sizes. But this is a drainage tee. So this drainage tee will drop down. Because they don't marry and match accordingly, I had to go with the rubber boot, the 4-inch to 2-inch rubber boot here that will tighten up here. And then we drop into a 2-inch section, reduce down further to a 1.5-inch section, and then finally onto our 1/2-inch section here that'll tie directly into and provide a little bit of pressure down on the watering system so it stays primed and ready. Apart from each other, so we'll mark this 1/2-inch PVC pipe at 6-inch intervals. We'll cut those and we'll mock up the cup section before we attach it to the big pipe. Connect everything. I'm going to take it all apart and start gluing it in place. We got all the measurements we need so that we can connect it to the big pipe inside the chicken tractor. So we'll deconstruct it right now.
On another flag. Here we go.
And then you put this.
Oh.
So now that we have the 1/2-inch ready to go, we've got our tees ready, we've got our reduction all ready to go. We've now got to get our 4-inch drainage pipe. This is a piece of 4-inch by 10, and it has the expanded coupler ends on it already. So we're going to cut this up. Okay, so now we've made our cut to our 4-inch PVC pipe. We'll put the T fittings in place and see how everything matches up. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, there they are. Let's get this in position. We're ready to install our last piece, the cap. All right, there it is, it's done. Our watering system is installed. We need to let this set up and dry for about an hour before we do put any water in there and test it out. But there it is. Shut the door on it. We'll put our roofing in place. We'll put our chicken wire on our doors. We're going to put white plastic poly roofing on the big open sections, so to provide some shade and shelter. We're losing light fast, but it's time for chicken wire. Our chicken wire hardware to do. Then we got to put a tow strap or tow bridle on the chicken coop so that we can tow it around the field with the tractor. And get our handles installed here. Now we'll install a lock. Our lock, we're using a key turnbuckle system here, and we're gonna do it, not that anybody's gonna mess with the chickens, but just in case.
Uncooped.
I don't know how that worked out, but we have the handles, the locks, everything on. We are about 100%. Last two things we have to do is test the water system, and we need to attach our tow points so that we can tow this around the field with a one of our garden tractors. So I'm going to do the tow points right now. We're going to sink these eye bolts in about 3.5 to 4 inches. Got everything put together. We're just about done. The last thing we have to do is what?
Pour this water in.
We're gonna test it, right?
Yep.
All right.
Go.
Whoa!
Is it working?
Oh, you have to put the whole thing in, please. You want some help?
I got
You're
it.
such a big dude. Yeah, just tip it. There you go.
Is it working?
All right, you're the test chicken. I'll put you in there. Okay.
There is water in there.
Cover that up.
This
All right.
is awesome. You might actually have to go in there.
Why not?
Let me see.
All right.
It's really watery wet. I like the gate up there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really a fan of those kind of gates.
You're not?
Nope.
All right,
I
well,
don't really like the gates.
let's get in here and see. See if we have any water, okay? Oh, look at that. Push. Look.
It filled up.
Okay.
This is such a success. Do you need to put plywood down as a flooring?
No. Okay, so what do we have left to do?
It gets overflowed.
We gotta tow this puppy. Get up, buddy.
You got tow cables in this thing?
Sure do.
Wow, Holly.
Come on, Carter, let's hook it up.
Let me put it on there.
I figured. Come on.
Okay. Okay, so put that.
Mm-hmm. Now drop the pan in.
Okay.
Good job. Twist it. Righty-tighty.
Okay. Okay, right this way?
Yep, righty-tighty. Good job.
Then
Nice work.
go.
I'm in back, here in front. Here we go.
No, I'm going to put it back.
No. Chicken tractor's all done. The skids or sleds, whatever you want to call them, they did a fabulous job coming out here because we actually were going against the grain on the cornfield, and the combine would run this way. We ran across it, so there's a lot of peaks and valleys, and it did a great job getting here. We did get stuck a couple times, but that'll happen. And pulling system worked really well. I think we've got a good setup and plan for shade. We've got a good plan for access, putting the food in the back, the water up front. In addition to this water system, I'm still going to throw a 5-gallon water in there just to make sure that they have plenty of water throughout the day. But the watering system worked very well. I don't know if I'll use it again. It was a little bit more expensive than was anticipated, and drove the cost up about 25-30% based on the other stuff we bought. So. But that's it. It's all done. First chicken tractor is all done. What do you got to say about it, Carter?
I like it a lot.
Awesome. Thank you very much for watching the Homestead.
Bye.